So this event is brought to you by CodeNeuraX. So today's session is gonna be crack the Google interview. And trust me, this is going to be the one of the most practical and eye-opening session for everyone who are aiming to be in the one of the most top-based companies.
Everyone, I'm Divanshi Jain and I'm currently in my final year at SWE Delhi. I'm doing BTech in Computer Science Engineering.
You started, right? So did Google really felt like achievable or unrealistic?
But in the second round of interview, I was rejected, so I felt really bad. The only thing that can help you get into Google is code anyone can write, but they want to know how.
Do you think that what's the biggest mistake that right now, present, currently the most of the students are doing?
It's never too late for anything. You can start now and you can get into it. I got into Google off campus.
What that interviewer mostly depends on?
Professors can really help you get a good resume as well. Used to see a priority ke question, I used to skip it. But that was one of the questions that was asked in my interview. So
Which one of was the one red flag in your resume? Like, so do you think that coding roles will be changed in the future, like the job of the software engineer or software developer?
but for research papers, this much is enough. One company changed their hiring process by giving them a problem there, and with the help of AI, that person has to solve the problem. So definitely, there is a lot of things changing with how we will be getting selected in future. So software engineering is definitely not just Java, C++, Python, or anything. It's about you building algorithms and improving how systems currently work. Focus on DSA and keep an eye on the company's web career site for openings.
I think projects are way too important to get our resume shortlisted.
You can definitely take help of AI or ChatGPT. Something that I have studied system design enough. I should build some project. You can tell the interviewer that you have not studied this topic yet, and number of software engineers will be less by after a few years. They rely too much on AI for generating code and uh, delivering results.
This event is brought to you by CodeNeuraX. This is a student-led tech community. So today's session is gonna be crack the Google interview. And trust me, this is going to be the one of the most practical and eye-opening session for everyone who are aiming to be in the one of the most top-based companies. So today we are honored to have with us Divanshi Jain, an incoming software engineer at Google, who has also interned at Amazon and Google both. So she has gone through the exact journey that many of you inspire to, and today she is here to break down those real preparation strategy, mindset, execution that really required to break such opportunities. So Devanshi, welcome to the session. We are really excited to have you here.
Hello Prachi, hello everyone. Thank you so much for the intro.
Yeah, if you are comfortable, then you can. Yeah, thank you. Also, a quick note for everyone that if you are really serious about your growth, so feel free to share this session on the LinkedIn and tag CodeNeuraX. So we'll be reposting this, and it really reflects that you are like serious about your growth. So now to begin with Devanshi, like we will really love to hear your journey from your college days to how you really landing into the opportunities at companies like Google and Amazon.
Yeah. So hello everyone. I'm Divanshi Jain and I'm currently in my final year at SWE Delhi. I'm doing BTech in Computer Science Engineering. Starting with how I started my college. Actually, I live very far from my college, so it's like 2 hours of travel from one side. So I travel almost 4 hours every day, and still managing all this. So yeah, I think I would be a good person to help and tell you how things work, even though everyone have their own experiences, but maybe you can learn something from mine. Yeah. uh,
Yeah, thank you so much. So now you might be knowing this. This session is fully gonna be a question answer rounds, and we will be really hearing about your experience and learning from those. So let's start. So when you started, right? So did Google really felt like achievable or unrealistic?
When I started, I'd never thought that I'll get into Google or I'll work in big tech companies, Amazon too. I only thought that I'll get into some random company, but I'll become a good software engineer at least. The focus was on becoming a good software engineer than being in a big tech company. Although I really wanted to be in one. So as everyone's dream, Google was also one of my dreams.
Yeah, it is dream for I think many of us. So when was the turning point? Like when you really felt, yeah, I can do this.
Okay, so I'll tell you a story. When I was in my second year, so we have a society called ASN Algorithm Society of University. So one of my seniors, she interviewed me for the society. Then she told me about different companies that come, and she also told me that Google comes for second year students. So I felt like let me also try. Then my college they sent us mails, but so for second years at that time before me it was for only girls, but after me it became like for everyone. So at that time when I applied, I was able to clear the OA. Then I was able to clear the first round as well, but in the second round of interview I was rejected, so I felt really bad. And that became one of my turning points, that I felt like I can't get into Google now, what will happen. And in third and after a few months itself I got the opportunity again to get interview for Google.
Oh, great, great. So when we talk about that, getting into the job like top product-based companies, we hear about the names like Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and there are many things that we got to hear about that TSA and this thing is too much important for the preparation and this thing is too much important. Like solving too many lead code problem will be sufficient. So what do you think about that DSA? How much DSA is actually enough for the Google interview?
Okay, so there is no particular number of questions that can get you into Google. The only thing that can help you get into Google is how well you are able to solve a problem, and how well you are able to communicate your problem solving skills. So, for example, if an interviewer gives you a question and they ask you for an answer, but in their back of their mind they don't only want the answer, because answer anyone can write, code anyone can write, but they want to know how you thought about it. The algorithms is the main thing. So yeah, and about the number of questions, it's not like that you have to do 1,000 questions then only you can get into Google. You have to solve questions topic wise. You have to have clarity about the topic. Start with, if you are in first year or second year even, you should start with arrays, strings, hash map, etc. Then slowly get onto those recursion, linked list, etc., and then uh, graph and all. So the thing is that start with basics. If you're starting, for example, with arrays, go with like every day you will do 5 questions, two questions easy, two medium, and one hard. You can go with lead code or geeks for geeks, anything would work. When I started in first year second sem, I started with geeks for geeks, but eventually after a few months later I shifted to lead code. But yeah, both the platforms are good enough.
Yeah, great. So what do you think that right now the most of the students do while preparing for the DSA?
I didn't get your question.
Yeah. So what do you think that what's the biggest mistake that right now present currently the most of the students are doing while preparing for the DS? Like they are direct jumping into the problems in the lead code. So is it the right way to approach those problems?
The correct way is to first know about the backstory, the theory, and then getting into the question. And many a times, what students do is they look at a question. If they're not getting the answer, they'll look at the answer, copy it, and paste it. But what you should do is, or they'll watch a solution video. But I think you should give some time. The people in your surroundings, your friends, are one of the biggest helps that you can take. So ask your friends to set a goal like we'll solve these questions together today, and by the end of the day you should be able to solve the question. So in classes most of the students don't take much of the lectures or what the teacher is saying. They will be either in their phone playing games or watching Instagram. So instead of that, take out time and do that question, or at least formalize a solution for those questions. That would be a good time you can do. And even when you're traveling or you're free sitting freely, you should think about that question that you were not able to solve at that time.
Okay. So you also think that solving more question is not that important, then you should understand the patterns deeply.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So from the if we are looking from the point of view of Google, if two students have solved the same number of problems, like 500 questions they've solved, right? So how does the Google choose one from them?
So uh, if both the students have done 500 questions on LeetCode, how will
Yeah.
Google select them?
Yeah.
So it's not just about number of questions, but if you are into giving contests, so contests are obviously timed, and you when you are giving more contests, you get to know that the interviews are also timed. You get 45 minutes to solve two questions, and you have to do them in that duration itself. So instead of focusing on the number of questions, focus on giving contest, making things timed. That I'll solve this question in this much time, and yeah, practice mock test, mock interviews with your friends before any interview. And other than that, I would also like to add that right now, keeping the AI situation in mind, LeetCode has increased the level of their contests by a lot. Like when I was in second year, the contests were usually comparatively easier as compared to what they are now. So if you're not able to solve the questions in today's contest, maybe you should take you should go to contests that were being held 2 years back, or a question series from 1400. You can try those. That would be helpful.
Yeah. That's the thing that we can do. And right now we have many students from the second and third year right now joining, seeing this session. So many doubts come from their side is that if they are starting in the third year, so like, is it too late to start for the Google, or we can just start now?
If you're in third year right now,
Yeah, many students are there from the third year.
okay. If you are in third year,
It's an
if you are right now in the third year, see, it's never too late for anything. You can start now and you can get into it. But I'll be practical right now. If you're in third year, you'll be going for placements, right?
Yeah,
June, July. And if
yeah,
you are from a top tier college, then only Google visits your campus. So you should try. So the only thing option left is that you should try off campus, right? So for off campus, you should go with referrals. And yeah, of course, anyone can crack anything if they work hard. So practicing questions, giving mock interviews, and this can help you.
yeah. So how was your journey? Like, you did it like off campus by yourself, or someone referrals, or like?
So it was off campus only. I got into Google off campus.
Okay, so you work hard for it, right? Yeah. So when we talk about the interview, right? So many interviewers like what they select based on their look from our resume, like they look for the projects or our CGPA or the coding, how much we are like good at coding or anything. What that interviewer like mostly depends on.
So for Google and Amazon, it's not about your resume, but to get shortlisted, you definitely need your resume to be really good. So that for that, and in Google, you have a telephonic round. So there they ask you about your contest ratings and how much essay questions you have done. Other than that, they also ask you about some of your projects and the work experience, the internships you have done.
Okay. So from your resume, which were the projects that really stand out from among your whole resume? some
Okay, so
projects you had done. Yeah.
yeah, sure. So I have worked on like a couple of projects. Two of my projects are from hackathons. So I made them in hackathon with my teams. Uh, they were about legal law, basically law mostly. So one of them was bail reckoner system, where the system would fasten the process of bail. So there are many a times that wrong people get into jail, and the system is too lengthy to get them bail early. So we made a system to make the bailing thing fast. The other one was about secondly, I also worked in my college for driver drowsiness detection project under my teacher. So the professors can really help you get a good resume as well.
Mm. So projects are important also, right? Any question in some interviews that really surprised you, or any interview round that was really tough for you? Was there any?
Yeah, definitely. All the interviews round seem to be tough until the results come. So yeah, my one of my interviews at Google only, they asked me about that was a meeting rooms question, meeting rooms three, I guess, that they asked me. It was, although it was a normal lead code question, but at that time, since I was in second year, I did not practice that much of priority queue. I was every time I used to see a priority queue question, I used to skip it. But that was one of the questions that was asked in my interview. So I would definitely say that things you're scared of doing or learning, you should definitely look into them before your interviews.
Okay, great. So by the time that we are interacting, if any one of the participants, if you're having any doubt, then you can just drop in the chat box, and I'll make sure to pick it up by the end of the session. So yeah, feel free to ask your question. By the way, like yeah. So uh, if I ask about which one of was the one red flag in your resume, like one thing that you shouldn't be adding it in it.
Okay. In in general, right? Think
Yeah,
red
in that,
flag that you can
yeah, one thing.
you should
Yeah,
not. Okay,
yeah.
so you should, like, if you're make your resume really well structured, because a cluttered or very simple or a very complex resume, people generally skip them. So make sure that the structure you follow is good enough. Start with your education, after that your work experience, your skills, then your projects, and in the end you can add your achievements and also extracurriculars. So this will help you have a structured resume. And red flag would be that you are adding some skill, for example, and you are making like each of the things very like nuclear part of it. For example, if you are in good in full stack front end, you are adding HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, MongoDB, etc., etc. You're writing Mon as well as you are writing MongoDB Express node. So keep things compact. And also, if for example, if you're writing your projects, so keep them in points instead of writing paragraphs. Keep the points simple, 2 to 3 points for each project and each work experience. And also in your resume, one thing that I have noticed, every time someone asks me for referral or anything, what they do is they put their email as link. Instead, what they should do is they should just put their email as email ID itself. So instead of email being written there, it should be your email ID. For example, mine is Divanshi J 123@gmail.com, anything. So you should write that clear, and you should also put links of your lead code profile, GFG code forces profile, etc. Other than that, you should also mention your phone number, because sometimes many of the recruiters try to contact you. So phone number would be a good option for them.
Okay. So does our LinkedIn profile also like matter when we are going to apply for a job or anything?
If you're applying for startups, of course, LinkedIn profiles matter a lot. So I understand that not everyone will be getting into Google, but will be getting into some company, right? So your LinkedIn should be really good enough to stand out. That if a founder looks at at your LinkedIn, they should be impressed at first sight itself. Have the intro section well written. Your achievements should be visible in that 2 to 3 lines of your intro, the header section. Then your intro should be strong enough. I know mostly people don't read intro, but you should have a good intro. And then in your work experience, and you should mention everything you have worked on. Uh, Along with the name of the companies, you should also mention what projects you did under them. And then your education section, you should try pursuing certifications online. So, for example, Amazon, they provide a certification course for machine learning. You can check Amazon and Udacity together gives free scholarships for machine learning. AWS ML scholarship, you can go and search it.
Yeah. We will also be putting that into our group. And if we like right now we have many AI students. The skill is like really in the growth. So when we talk about the AI tools like ChatGPT too much growing, so do you think that coding roles will be changed in the future, like the job of the software engineer or software developer?
Okay. Yeah, coding has evolved along with ChatGPT and AI, other AI tools coming into existence. So, uh, though it's internal, but I'll tell you in Google what we have is we have a coding assistant named Ducky. So, what we do is we just ask it to perform the work. The only thing we have to do is check if the work is proper and functional, and if things it has written are correct, the logic is correct. So yeah, AI has evolved the software engineering field, and we are seeing many like revolutions in Google. Though the uh, internal coding AI tools were not that evolved right now, but in Amazon, you have it like Claude integrated in your VS Code, or yeah, IntelliJ. Definitely, the
Oh,
role of coding is changing from just writing code to reviewing what AI has written now.
yeah, we can see it all over the places. And so now it's time to let's solve some of the questions of the participants. You can just look in the chat box and you can answer accordingly.
Can you elaborate about any of the projects you have done during your college? The current scenario of all of AI, what do you want to focus on? Okay, so one of the projects that I have done, I think I answered this question, but uh, I'll tell you about driver drowsiness detection. So it was a project under my teacher. So this what this project was about was that drivers get sleepy while driving. So to prevent that to happen, because drive sleeping while driving would cause accidents. That project was purely based in ML, and it was a research work. And I think you should opt for research projects that really help you get into good connections with the teacher. Along with that, they can also refer you for good universities. And also for girls, there is this Google Generation Scholarship, right? You can These teachers can also help you get into that, and obviously adding a good project would help you get a good job. Yeah. In the current scenario of AI, what domain to focus on mainly? As we know, AI is taking over. Okay, so right now, what I would suggest is you should definitely work on AI and ML skills, and you should instead of front end web dev or backend, you should try working on AI algorithms, machine learning topics. Go try to study like these topics only. There are many YouTube channels that teach well. Uh, Alongside your college curriculum, you should build projects in machine learning. Go for next word prediction, next sentence prediction, recommendation systems. These can help you a lot in understanding how things work internally, and how uh, and maybe you can create, like if you are working on full stack as well, you should integrate machine learning with it. For example, if you are creating a for example Netflix clone, you should add a recommendation system in it, integrate a recommendation system, so that would help you build a really good project. Uh, Next, in this tech booming era, can moderate to good level web development sustain web developer sustain? If they can, what things should they do to be effective on this web development? A good option towards the web. See, we can't say that AI is taking web development. Definitely, web developers has a role to play, but you should know how to use AI with web dev. So these days, to be honest, I don't know much of web dev, but I can definitely create a website using a Lovable or any other web AI tool like Codex in VS Code by ChatGPT. But yeah, definitely web developers has a role to play. But this is what I'm saying, that if you are building a Netflix clone, you should integrate an AI or ML system with it. So, for example, if you are building a chat interface, you should integrate AI with it to help users get some suggestions or help users complete their sentences. For uh, I'll take a very simple example. For example, if you're uh, building, so there are many companies that have chatbots, right? So if you take a chatbot and build the interface, web developers obviously have to build an interface. The UI should look good, but along with the UI, now your work becomes to integrate AI API keys to it, so that the responses that uh, are being generated are good enough for the users that are interacting with your websites. What will be the workflow to build any product from plan to deployment? So this is typical SDLC life cycle, that you first plan, gather requirements. Uh, Give me a second. Yeah. So you plan the requirements first, design the UI using Figma or anything. Then you do the coding, testing, then deployment. So that would be a production level thing. If you want to get into production details, yeah, let me know. Yes, well, you can speak and ask.
Hi, I have a question. As you are a ex-intern in Amazon, can you tell about the uh, DevOps field much?
Sorry, I'm not into DevOps much. You can maybe try connecting to someone on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Stivers A to Z DSS sheet is enough to get an internship in Amazon. Definitely, Stivers A to Z sheet is a good playlist or good sheet to follow. You can follow the A to Z. The sheet might doesn't have all the questions that he had in his playlist, but yeah, you can refer to both of them for getting into it. Plus, you can also look into Lead Code Blind 75 for interviews and Lead Code 100. It was like, yeah, the Lead Code study plan are good enough to be uh, to be used. And also, every time you are preparing for any interview, you should go into the Lead Code discuss section, search for the company name and the interview details, and you will get plenty of questions there also. So if you search for Google interview questions, you get many questions, and they are actually asked in the interviews. So the meeting rooms questions that I told you, it was also present in the discuss section, that helps get the interview questions. Drowsiness detection can be done with one Python file using OpenCV Media Pipe. So it was not just about one Python file, but it was about improving the accuracy. Not all projects are made to be just getting a model trained. It was the project was about improving accuracy. So uh, at the time when I built the project, it was the accuracy of other models that we looked into was around 93, 92, and our model improved the accuracy by 95%. So yeah, not a major change, but for research papers this much is enough. And we of course did a lot of research, implemented har cascade and other uh, algorithms to get that accuracy. uh, I hope that answers. Do you think it is good to rely solely in AI without learning programming? No. No, it's not a good idea. You should definitely know the core and you should know how things work behind. So, what I was saying that you should go for machine learning roles. I'm saying this because uh, even after software engineering is going to be replaced, but who is going to replace that software engineering? We, the AI engineers, right? The people who are building those models. So we should definitely learn programming. We should know the algorithms behind, and we should try to work on our learning and understanding skills more. GitHub repository. Yeah, definitely I'll share.
By applying the AI internship, which programming language
uh,
you want
Main
to
DSA topics which are
make
majorly
DSA?
focused on in Amazon and Google roles. So for Amazon, it's the Lead Code 100 study plan. You can definitely follow that helps. And for Amazon, for Google, you should focus on they ask graph, priority queues. They also ask linked list and trees you should work on. How do I see Google evaluating candidates? See, I'm not the recruiter, I'm not the company head, but yeah, I think that many companies recently, some one company changed their hiring process by giving them a problem there, and with the help of AI, that person has to solve the problem. So definitely, there is a lot of things changing with how we will be getting selected in future, but it will be for our good only, and we and I definitely believe that AI is going to help us with all these things. Yeah. Anyone else having any questions? Someone raised their hand. Okay, software AI versus AI developer. Sorry, what did I say? Software developer versus AI developer, which is best? uh, Both are equally good. So if you are thinking that software engineering is all about coding and writing code test cases, it's not that. If you go in a company, you have to work on machine learning as well, AI as well, and normal routine coding as well. So when I worked in Google, my project was related to machine learning only. I worked uh, on an on automating a DB flag tuner. So the work was to, so in databases we have different flags to tune the database to get better transactions per second and reduce the latency. But all that process was manual. So my task was to automate it, and it required me to do machine learning, to use machine learning algorithms to improve that. So software engineering is definitely not just Java, C++, Python, or anything. It's about you building algorithms and improving how systems currently work. With AI generating solutions so easily, what mindset or skills should we build now so that we don't become replaceable engineers? You should work on uh, trying to. You should use AI to build solutions, not generating solutions. You mean the DSA questions and the solutions that it built, or in general? uh, the mindset you should keep when you're building is that the product is usable enough and you are able to fetch uh, users and fetch the people's attention. So that is what I'm saying, that you should definitely go and participate in hackathons that really helps you build products using AI. And since you have a very limited time, you have 24 hours or 48 hours, you are definitely you definitely use AI for building better and really good solutions. So your focus should be on utilizing AI and not being scared of AI replacing engineers. To
Yeah.
become an AI engineer,
So yeah, yeah,
should I
continue.
complete?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. To become an AI engineer or applying AML internships, in which programming language you mostly internship places? Okay, so for AI engineering or AIML internships, you should go with Python. They generally don't ask DSA there. They ask you questions related to machine learning algorithms only. So, for example, I interned at 2070 Health. My whole interview was this way, that They first gave me a problem statement. I had to build the solution. After that, they asked me questions about that project, how I did that, and after that they asked me algorithms only, that how does SVM or support vector machines work and what is the logic behind it, all those questions. So AI engineers don't just have to focus on DSA but algorithms, specifically machine learning algorithms and mathematics. The best way to apply for an internship for product based companies in off campus. So the best way is to keeping an eye on LinkedIn. You can follow Krishna Kumar, I write. You might be knowing him. It was Krishna Kumar or Krishna Kumar. He shares posts almost every day about internship. Other than that, what you can do is you can message founders. So uh, you can search on LinkedIn about founders in machine learning field, and you can message them if there is an opening in their company or not. And other than that, there is a way that I found out. You can, if you search for in LinkedIn only, if you search ML internship and go to post section, you will see, and put a filter like last 24 hours or last 1 week, you will see a lot of people giving uh, up, ML internships, and they are paying well also. Suggest the best way to apply for an internship. Yeah, this question is taken. So product based companies, you should go for, like, they're these are mostly big companies, right? Intuit is also, I think, product based. So for these, you should go for people. Every time you see any opening, what you should do is you should search for people who are working in the company in your connections. So definitely build a good LinkedIn presence and a good LinkedIn.
Viva signature.
Yeah, so you should have good LinkedIn
Viva
connection.
signature.
What?
Sheet of sheet per.
Okay. So you should have good LinkedIn connections. So for example, if an opening comes in Intuit, you should go and uh, ask the person that if they can refer you. Referrals definitely help, and obviously a good resume would help. Advice for freshers, like who's willing to start their journey with DSA. So freshers who are starting with DSA, you should start with yeah, you can start with the Striver's playlist. He has explained everything in detail. If you are what I have heard is, if you are doing C++, you should follow the Love Bubbers playlist by CodeHelp. And if you are starting with Java, so when I started with Java, I initially started with Apna College, but they have very short lectures and less of knowledge. So switch to, you can try with Kunal or Anuj Bhaiya also. He also teaches very nicely. So you can start DSA with these people. Along with that, go with Striver any day. What kind of projects increase chances of selection? So it's not just projects, but how you present them. You should have an ATS score of, ATS score is your resume score, how good it is. So your keep an ATS score of 80 plus. It can uh, help you get your resume shortlisted. And after it is, so all the game is about getting your resume shortlisted. So make your resume this strong that your resume gets filtered and gets selected, and then the main thing is OA and interviews. That for that you have to work on DSA itself. Second year diploma student, is it possible to solely rely on the quality of project? Both are equally important. It's how, what you are targeting. If you're targeting product based companies, you should definitely go with DSA. But if you are targeting any startup in your second year, so you should go with how well you are able to build your projects, and how well you are able to connect to people on LinkedIn, reaching out to them and get that internship. And yeah, definitely your project is really good, I think. You should try connecting with people in the machine learning field to get a good internship, and you can definitely get one. Try for YC as well. YC startups, they can help. What should be the roadmap for competitive programming. Competitive programming, you should start with Code Forces, Code Chef. I started Code Forces, but I left it in between. But Code Chef I did for like 3 4 months. Yeah, you can start with Code Chef if you find it easier, and then switch to Code Forces. Uh, Start with easier questions first, and then eventually go for higher questions. And since I'm not much into competitive, I would suggest you that you start with lead code first and then slowly move with competitive. And how does AI help Google detect spam or fake content? This is their own thing. This is about that you have filterings, right? Collaborative filtering and all those things. So yeah, this is one of the ML projects you can definitely take up and work on.
I think these are enough to solve many of the doubts. So also, if any of the students who are doubted, then they can just speak up and they can ask their questions. Uh, so by the time we'll continue this after a few minutes, we'll get back to all the questions. So I'll again mention that this event is being brought to you by CodeNeuraX. It is an tech-led community with 3,500 plus students, members where we let students to learn more, grow, and stay aligned with real industry expectations, where we go through many sessions, challenges, and opportunities. Also, so I think the doubts of the students will continue this after a few minutes, and let's just continue with some general doubts that right now, if we are a second year student and if we are thinking about getting into the product based companies, yeah, Google, Amazon. So, what the first things that we should start doing right now, right away?
Focus on DSA and keep an eye on the company's web career site for openings. Yeah.
Yeah, the requirements. Yeah.
And also build projects. Yeah.
I think projects are way too important to get our resume shortlisted. So where we can get the ideas for doing the project, because if we talk about recommendation system, so it is already there in the market. So what can we do new things to get to get in their eye or to be the best out of those different candidates?
Okay, so for this, you can definitely take help of AI or ChatGPT. So a few days back, I was thinking that I have studied system design enough. I should build some project. Start with small and then build upon it. Also, there was one time when I was thinking to make a project in Java. So definitely, you should take help from GPT. It gives you really good ideas, and ask for unique ideas itself. If there is a recommendation system already present, but most of them are that if you are considering movie recommendation systems, most of them have the same type of formula being used, but go a step further and try to build a system much more similar to how Netflix is working. So the recommendation systems or the projects around them are very generic. If you search on Kaggle, you will get whole code source code there. But to have make your project more like accurate and better by just yeah using some good algorithms and take help from ChatGPT to get good ideas. I would say.
Yeah. That's a good idea. And you first mentioned that you were rejected by one company, and then you really felt that rejection is there. You really self-doubted yourself, right? So how do you deal with those rejections when you get it two, three, four times? So how do you get back to yourself and you can say like, yeah, I can do it. I can. Yeah.
Can
You
you give
don't
me a
lose
second?
your hope.
Can you give me a second?
Yeah, sure. So till that time, let me ask you to all the members that how many of you are really preparing for the like solving leak codes and solving some codes or going through some projects and everything. Everyone is like, feel free to talk here.
Okay, so your question was how to like get over your setbacks or your failures,
Yeah,
right?
how do you deal with your rejection?
Okay, so yeah. So my first rejection was from Google itself, the company that I wanted to get into. So that was a very sad moment. I think I have cried for like 2 3 months at least. That why was I not able to make it to the last round or the final step. So that happens. That is how things work. You need to understand that every failure teaches you something. So if I would have not been rejected, maybe I would have never known how rejection feels like. So every rejection helps you get closer to your dreams. Maybe one day when you're rejected, the other day you can get a better opportunity. So always be positive and try to be optimistic in all way possible.
Yeah. So, do you think that system design is that important for the freshers when applying to the top most companies?
Yeah, definitely. System design is one of the important topics that companies ask. For Google, if you are in third year, you will be getting into you'll be applying for full time roles, right? And Google off campus takes 5 to 6 rounds to for software engineer roles. So in the fifth round or fourth round, they definitely ask system design. And any other company, any other product based company you are interviewing with, they definitely ask system design. I can share a link with you for studying system design.
Yes. We'll be sharing that link in our group. If any of the member is having doubt, then you can just speak up and ask with your question. Yeah, great. So by the time, we'll just do one rapid fire round with you.
Okay.
Yeah. One habit that changed your journey.
Consistency.
Oh, great. And one resource that you will definitely recommend
One
rather
reason.
than Striver sheet.
Okay. Uh, Other than driver sheet,
Other than Striver.
there is no particular resource, but I would say that if you are doing lead code only, even if you are focusing on lead code, what you should do is you should when you start with, for example, arrays, take a week and take in 1 week you will just do arrays only, all types of array questions. So in lead code you have this filter na, for selecting the question type. So select the filter to be array. Whatever questions you see, do those questions until you feel like confident enough that yes, now you can solve any array question. That can definitely help.
Um,
And other
so
than that, you should you can follow Anuj Bhaiya on YouTube. He teaches really well. And for
okay.
sliding windows, I forgot. Can I share it to Dinesh on WhatsApp?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No worries. And one habit that students should change right away. One mistake, we say.
Procrastination, maybe you should not be like putting things on tomorrow, that I'll do it tomorrow, I'll start later. The earlier you start, the better it is. I have seen people who started working very late. They started DSL in their second, third year, and yeah, they are stuck. But yeah, there are people who started late, but they did well, so they got into good companies as well. So definitely, you should be consistent and you should work hard towards your goal.
Yes, procrastination for sure. Because when we talk about like we will do it tomorrow, then the third year
Yeah.
comes. So one skill beyond coding. right now, which is I think that which is gonna evolve in the future one skill,
About coding,
not like other than coding.
that is which is going to evolve.
Yeah, like which is too important for the future if we start
Prompt
to learn today.
engineering. Yeah, prompt engineering is evolving, but data fields related to data, they are growing. Data engineering and all those things. Yeah.
Yeah, I also heard that about this from one of the most intelligent professor. I would say that data analyst job is going to be like boom one day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for that. We'll go back to the questions. I think many other participant has dropped many questions right now. So let's just look those.
Okay. Uh, from where was, did I learn? At this point, should I continue with building and improving such projects or start focusing? In which year are you? Just see if you are in uh, okay, second year. Second, give me a second. Or what kind of project? Okay, at this point, should I continue with building and improving such projects? So, since you're in second year, you should definitely focus on DSA right now because by the end of second year, that is, it's second year's end only going on. You will be having interviews for internships, right? So, yeah, you should focus on DSA. Uh, Resume with ATS of 80 to 83. So, like, where can I find internships from for the skills I already have? Okay, so lead code, sorry, LinkedIn, you should try to, you'll get internships there. And for big tech companies, you should definitely keep an eye on company site, career sites, and openings. And apply with a always apply with a referral because without referral, most of the applications get rejected. If a person apply through a referral link, what makes that person stand out of the remaining people? See, nowadays what has happened is even referrals have started having low value because most of the people every time they apply, they are applying through referral. So it's your, but the in flights when you go in a flight, you have a different line for priority people, those who pay high. So here also it is like that. It's about how hard uh, you have worked on your resume and showcasing your skills. So the better your resume is, the better chances are there for you to get selected. That referral link is a chance to show up, and it's on you who is going to show up what you have worked on. How was the hiring process? So in second, in third, no, I applied in second year. So for Google, what the hiring process was like, it was a first round was I got a mail, then it was a telephonic round. After that, was uh, I had round one of interview, and then round two, and before that, I also had an OA round. Yeah. So this is how most companies work, that you have an OA and then you have 2 to 3 rounds of interviews. In Amazon, it was a bit different. In Amazon, we had OA. We had 2 levels of OA and one interview. And for Amazon, to get into Amazon, you should apply for Hack On with Amazon. Even if you are not able to solve all the questions, you definitely get the OA and the interview links. Yeah. Second year diploma, 4 semester. Okay, I answered your question. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So when you talk about giving the interviews, right? So if any of the questions like suddenly came, which really is out of our field or anything, we don't know, we didn't even touch that concept yet. So is it better to say that I don't know, I'll get back to it, or we'll just try to stretch that answer?
Okay, what kind of question will it be? Is it DSA or is it a normal?
Is it like yeah, take it as a DSA question that we just skip that concept. We just know that one line theory about that concept, that what is the better thing to do.
Okay. So if it's a DSA question that you have not studied about, you can tell the interviewer that you have not studied this topic yet, and you would want, see, the first thing you would do is you will try to solve a question, right? And you cannot, since you are in second year, you cannot predict what kind of data structure you would be using. So the, if for a DSA question, you have to try and solve and give a brute force approach to them. But if it's a normal question, you can tell them that you are not aware of it and you study it after the interview.
Yeah. So, do you also think that AI is gonna reduce the number of engineers in that are being needed by the Google, or the role will be like will be there as a Google software engineer as the, or it is gonna take some of the jobs? Because as we know that we talk a lot about that AI is evolving, right? So I think many are telling that the jobs are at too much like in danger.
Okay. So Amazon, there was a story about Amazon that I recently read, that they asked one of the teams to build an automation tool, and then they using AI, and then they removed the whole team. So of course, software engineering is about to like is getting less. The number of software engineers will be less by after a few years, but the role is shifting. So from software engineers, now the role is shifting to AI engineers, and in Google as well, people are using AI. Yeah, people are using AI, but yes, most of the companies are cutting down costs by replacing people with AI, but definitely they will be needing software engineers.
Yeah, to the very extent there will be needing. So I think almost every doubt from my side, in general way, from the student side, most of the doubts are being solved. Uh, so if I think nobody is having question, then we'll just give the session end. So yeah, thank you so much, Divanshi, for sharing your insight, your honest, your valuable thoughts. And this session truly helped us what it actually takes to reach to the company like Google, and to everyone attending this session. Remember that it's not about where you start, but how consistently you move forward. So make sure to follow CodeNeuraX, and as I already mentioned that please do not forget to take this session. Do not forget to post this session and tag CodeNeuraX. We'll be reposting it right away. And uh, make sure everyone to follow CodeNeuraX for much more exciting and amazing opportunities, sessions, and real industry-based experience. So thank you, everyone. I think one last someone dropped one. Yeah. So if you are comfortable with it, then you can just answer it.
Okay. Mistakes that fresh graduates make. They rely too much on AI for generating code and delivering results. So one of the mistakes that I think I made in Amazon, being in Amazon, is that I started using AI too much, that I myself did not used to look at what the code was produced, and I always used, like, in the starting I used to get scolded that I did not look into the code, and many a times when you just submit the code written by AI, the production gets like in danger. And yeah, since it's customer impacting, customer facing side, we should be careful with things. You can search me on LinkedIn, but yeah, I will drop my LinkedIn.
Yes. Also, we will be sharing your LinkedIn also with